What's up, guys? Nolan here. After I posted my, I forget what I called it, but US being the worst spec in the game video, there was a bunch of new friends that I've made that are interested in particularly explaining about how good the ATGMs are and the javelins are for Russian Airborne. And I don't think that it was out there. I don't think I've put it anywhere other than where like my most common viewers and people that watch me a lot, especially on the streams, would understand. But I see ATGMs, especially when they're infantry. Actually, no, it's more specifically when they are infantry as no threat. Obviously, if they're mobile, if they can get some, they can get some angles and things like that. Things like the javelin on the AMPVs, the strikers, the attackers, of course, on things like the T-15s and the Terminators. Great. But infantry in particular, I find as just subhuman. Well, infantry in general I find as subhuman whenever I discuss weapon systems, whenever I discuss threats within the game. I see infantry as no threat. They genuinely aren't. So when I discuss things like that, I don't genuinely mean infantry because of their lack of mobility. Now, that doesn't take away from the fact that you can put them in the best position possible, which is, again, this whole subject is coming from, this is coming from my How to US video, which I'm still working on, but the concepts that I discuss within, if people see it as like a wall of just like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, then we obviously hit some issues. The airborne being the worst spec, which it is, in the game, is part of that. This is also part of that. Because I am not, well, for one, going to be talking about airborne, but in particular, I'm not going to be putting much value into infantry with ATGMs unless it is close quarters. And we will get into the details of that now. So, you might notice these units in particular that I'm using are the airborne. The ones that people are saying are one of the most significant reasons to use the airborne spec at all. ATGMs can be spoofed. So the concept around this with infantry is that the AI, even though these are controlled by AI, I am in the scenario editor right now, the AI, the artificial intelligence of the default characteristics of gameplay, whatever you want to call it, when a player decides to put these units in buildings, remains the same, unless two things happen. One, the player decides to make them return fire, or they turn their weapons off entirely. That will make them not shoot. So, if that is not the case, then this is what will happen. This is something that I showed in my Mechanized Warfare Masterclass video, and it is something that is particularly dangerous when you're fighting in close quarters, but not when you can actually get some range. You count to 3, you back up. If it's a javelin, you do got to worry about it a little bit, because sometimes, if I was like right here, that javelin would be able to hit me. So you do have to watch out sometimes. But even something as easy as a PT with the 57mm, it's pretty expensive, but you get a smoke, it's amphibious. The 57mm is quite useful. I think it might be the most efficient weapon in the game. And of course, I have line of sight, so I can actually trade. I can actually efficiently engage these targets and then back up and then have those ATGMs be no threat to me whatsoever. So that is a thing. It involves micro, and the reason why most people are okay with it because it involves micro. Your situations are never going to be, perfect for things like this. There could be something around the flank. There could be, once you notice that they're there, you could hit it with artillery. But the fact that you can do something like this is part of, so it's a major part of why I see ATGMs, especially when it's infantry, as just no threat whatsoever. Even if I didn't have line of sight, I could still count to 3 and then back up, and they would still shoot that ammunition. Every single ATGM team in the game has 6 rounds. I just, once that left my mouth, I'm pretty sure there's like, I think maybe SSO has a bit more. Either way, if you're in the middle of the game, you count to 6. If they've shot 6 times, they do not have ammunition anymore, which is obviously going to take some time. Ideally, you might want to move, but it is anything with wheels, they will shoot these ATGMs at. And unless you are very much on top of your micro, you are not going to stop them from doing that. So that is a complete waste of ammunition. That is a complete waste of points. And just a complete waste of time to give any value to infantry ATGMs whatsoever. That is my opinion on it. That is why I think the way that I think. And this is just one. This is just one example. I'm hoping that this starts to run out here at some point, but I did put multiple squads in there. I put 2 squads of the multi-javelin from Airborne, and then I put 2 squads of the toes in there, so one actually got through. That shouldn't have happened, but hey, sometimes it does. Sometimes you get a little unlucky. Maybe you got shot by a tank or something. That's the reality. But notice how this is just, it's just not a threat to me. I can take anything with wheels. Hell, even if it was a little bit faster. These wouldn't be as hurt, but they'd be completely out of ammunition at some point. So I'm just going to let them shoot. This is the other thing. I am a god in this game. And I don't actually mean me in particular. I mean us. The people that are controlling the units within this game. We are gods. We get to tell these units where to shoot and how to shoot. It doesn't matter what they can and can't see. Even if they're in smoke and shouldn't be able to see through it, they will still fire on position through that. And that is the same for every single unit in the game. And it's been the same, I believe, since Wargame. I never really did it too much in Wargame. My micro wasn't there. It is now. I'm a, generally speaking, better gamer nowadays. But is that them out of ammunition now? So, apart from the fact that you can just do that whenever you want, I see ATGM infantry as no threat whatsoever when you bring the right tools for the job. So, that's one thing. I'm going to let that guy just sit there and finish those guys off. Another thing to pay attention to is, yes, mortars can do the same thing. You don't even need vehicles with smoke. So when vehicles don't have smoke, you can put smoke on top of your units and it can do the same thing. Now, I ran out of ammunition. 1 mortar round is the same as what you would get normally from a tank. 1 mortar round. Now, what this does is it telegraphs what you're doing. They hit you with artillery. They hit you with bombs. There's obviously something in there that is shooting out of it. Right there. So aim time involved with the artillery, the threat of being shot down if it was a plane. The trade is not as efficient. So you do need to watch out for that. But there's other things that you can do with other units that make this even more efficient and even more deadly. Again, I'll let that guy finish off there. Every single Russian tank gets HE shells. Most US tanks do not. However, the US does get the CEV, something I'll talk about in my how-to US video. Any Russian tank, any, can do this. You just have a vehicle smoke. It doesn't matter whether you can be seen or not. You come through, and as long as you are in distance, it will then choose HE, fire in position, and within a few shots, take that building down. It does not matter. You can do this with SEPV3s. You can do this with CEVs. Anything with an HE round. I think there's something else sporadic out there. I mean, you can use the heat rounds if you want to. And then when there is potentially some kind of threat, you take one of them and you hit smoke once. And guess what? It's still the same situation. So anything with a smoke can do this. And if it has a high-powered cannon or some kind of like high-powered HE, infantry are no threat whatsoever. It is micro-intensive. It's obvious what you are doing. So you need to keep that in mind. But it's just no threat whatsoever. What if we want to go even stupider? We've got the Sappery. These are 2-man teams. These BMP-1 PGs, they can fit up to 8. So I could put all 8 of these into one BMP-1 PG if I wanted to. So pull the teams up like this. And we're just getting started here, realistically. We got the Sturmovikis. These have 4 smoke each, and they have the flashbangs. Fantastic, same building anti-infantry. Drop those sniper teams off over there. This is just a very basic concept. This is not like anything special whatsoever. It's just you literally just are bringing snipers to do the thing that snipers do, which is snipe. And because they take away 100% of urban cover, they are going to utterly decimate any infantry that are in that cover. Now, of course, this player is going to move, but if they move, they are then less effective. They are not actually contributing to the fight. Now, I did put a sniper team in there because you do want to try and keep sniper teams with your... When you do end up using teams like this, you want to keep sniper teams with them so that they can see their targets. And then if something like this happens, you can trade. In fact, I'm about to lose a squad here if that sniper that actually hits. Actually, real time, I don't know how I would tell it to specifically, can you even target specifically the sniper team in there? I don't think you can. Although I think, oh, no, see, there goes one of my squads. So that's why you want those teams in there. And he's still shooting at him. Yep, there goes another one. So those guys are going to go down too. So that is why I put that sniper team in there. But notice how those ATGM teams are doing nothing. They are contributing nothing. And I think that was the sniper team. Oh, nope, they're still there. So, still gets a little bit awkward. I wish I could target that sniper team in particular. And if you guys know of something that can do that, please let me know. Because I don't even know that stuff. So, learn something new every day. But, very simple concept here. Snipers, 50 cals, things that are particularly useful at killing infantry in particular. That's just, they're not a threat. So now you need to bring snipers everywhere with you. And you need to constantly worry about snipers. Very simple, very easy to understand threat that just anybody can do. So, day one stuff, I don't need to worry about it. Was that an equal trade? I believe so, with those recon squads with like 90 points each. Oh, would you look at that? They're about to shoot at me. Wait for them to shoot. Still takes a while. There's still panic there. There comes the javelin, and... Well, javelin hits sometimes. Now, the thing with these high HE rounds, or the potential of high HE, is they can hit near the target, and then if it's lightly armored, it hits by the side, or it hits near the, or hits in the back, it's still going to do some damage, which is what you saw there. Or it'll just hurt anyway. It'll hurt anyway. But this is a 60-point unit. This is just the transport for those troops. So if you use it effectively, in the proper way, and based off of what I taught you guys in the Mechanized Warfare Masterclass, you can actually get up close if anything is also still alive and they can't shoot you. Which that's when the mods comes in. That's when the AT4s come in for the US and things like that. AT4s will end up being fine because most of these Russian targets, you're going to do fine. I said most, though. So, showed you some variations there. I don't even know why you would need to go past the first one, but we can continue. We can get even dumber and even more specific here with something like this. You guys are going to see more and more of this. This concept is something that I use a lot in the tag system. The fast pushes that you can do as Russia and as the United States and as the United States especially is quite useful. So this combo right here would be mechanized marine. If you were to do mechanized armor, you can use these Sturmovikis. They get the 4 smokes, same building damage, very effective. I showcased that quite a bit. However, let's do a little bit of a wombo combo here. We've got our sniper squads we're going to push up. While these guys are pushing up, we've got our BMOs, which can only carry squads of 4, which, by the way, can do the job of these if we wanted to, which actually I think was my original plan, but I think I'm getting ahead of myself or I'm misremembering the way I set this up. So actually, these BMOs can be these BMP-1Gs if I wanted to. Back these up. Let's say we didn't even know that these sniper teams were here, or rather, we didn't even know that these teams were here. Once we get to shoot a little bit, and once we move these vehicles up, then we would know. Because all we need to do is have something shoot at them, and then they're going to get spotted anyway. And once they do shoot, we smoke. And ideally, you want to stack that smoke. Wait for them to shoot. Get as close as possible. Now, while this is happening, You want to come in with extras. Still can't see it because still line of sight. The Sturmoviki get 2 HE RPGs. 2. Ogamashiki get 8 rounds of incendiary MROZs. No infantry is surviving those together. When you fire on position, and they're not going to be killed if you smoke within. Or rather, you smoke and then you shoot from within. Utterly, utterly, utterly useless when you have ATGMs against something like that. You need, and I didn't even focus on these guys yet, and I think they're dead. Are they dead? I didn't even touch these guys yet, and they're dead. I didn't even mean to kill these guys, and they're dead. Infantry ATGMs are not useless, but they absolutely are not. You're like key to victory. You have to use them correctly, and you have to watch out for very specific units, especially with Russia, because of the amount of smoke that these guys get, and because of the effect that you can have from shooting through that smoke. Utterly, utterly devastating. I mean, I can continue, but like, why? These guys, the thing I was going to point out here, they're going to make it to that target. It's a tank chassis. You are going to make it to that target. It does not matter what's up there. Now, what I'll do is I'll prep it a little bit better, and we'll send a couple of these boys up there. But I won't even bring the infantry with them. I'll just bring these guys. Wait for the shot to go out. A thing with 2 smoke. 60 points. Get as far as you can. Shots are out. Smoke. Keep going. Shots are out. Smoke. Keep going. Where'd the other guy go? Oh, there. Come on up. BMOTs get 2 smoke too, by the way. Smoke. And then we'll go over here. And cut the smoke off. Wait for them to shoot so they can use the ammo. Hello. Flashbang when you get in there. Smoke before you do. These are all stunned. Now the problem here is that all your fire support is now hitting the building that your troops are in as well. So you gotta watch out for stuff like that. But you do want to get the flashbang off. Within minimum distance, not a problem. Are they even gonna get a shot off? No, they're not. I'll just turn this gun off and then you do your job. So you'll see, not as effective if it's just them doing it, but they got their flashbang off, they were stunned in there. And then, of course, you do want to use your fire support in this role. But then what you can do is smoke, make sure they can't see your buddies while you're still shooting them. They get up within close range. There is absolutely nothing special happening here. These are not, well, the BMO's got the 30. But these are just cords. These are BMOTs. These are tank chassis. They're very strong. They get 2 smoke. BMO1s, BMP2s with 2 smoke. That can carry 4 dudes. You pick the right dudes. You pick the right target. These are no threat. So that is everything that encompasses why ATGMs, especially ATGM infantry, are as valued as low as they are on the totem pole for me. And especially for US Airborne. Especially. And doubly so when you are Russia. These can be swapped out for Green Beret. Green Beret do the exact same thing. And they shoot faster because they get the 4 shots before they got to reload. Sturmoviki, just dominant. They get the 2. You stack those up. They're 50 points. That's 4 RPGs that are shooting into a building. The BT-3 can carry 2 of those boys. You can also bring the Marines when they get the RPG-27s. Brother, the MTLB gets a smoke and gets enough armor to be able to do something like that. And it gets a grenade launcher. You shoot the grenade launcher in 30 mil through the smoke. While bringing up either 12 dudes or 2,000 supply. Whatever you want to do. 12 dudes, by the way. That's 3 of these squads. You can do 1 of these and 1 of these if you wanted to as well. HE, and it's on fire. Hell, you can do 2 of these and 2 of these. Or rather, yeah, that's 12. Math. Building's on fire, and you're spotting and you're sniping. But, I mean, the building's on fire, so why? And if they get out, you can snipe on the way out, actually. That's why. And then also, it's still fire in position. If you think they're going to get out, light the outside of the building on fire. ATGM infantry and just infantry in general are not a threat to me. However, I do use them to great effect by eliminating their weaknesses of movement and ammunition. Movement, you put them in a thing, and you put them exactly where you need them with that thing, aka transport. Things with wheels, things with tracks, things with smoke, things with APS, things with cannons as well. Then depending on what that cannon is, or depending on what that fire support is, or depending on what that infantry is, I either then get into the building with that infantry or stay somewhere nearby. Hopefully you guys have learned something. This will be one of the shorter videos, but that's why I talk the way that I talk when people are like, what do you mean this is you think you're the smartest person in the world? It's just like, I'm not. It's just, this is what I know can happen. So if you do this enough, you find out little details like this about everything in the game. That's kind of the point that you get to. And then I need to do a better job of actually portraying that. This isn't a scripted thing, but hopefully it's short enough and hopefully it's clear enough. You guys get the point. So, enjoy this video, or rather, I hope this was useful to you guys. Employ these tactics that I just explained to you guys. You can use mortars if you want. It can be pretty effective. Just mortar something and then put a tank in there and then fire in position, or you can just smoke the tank itself. Let me know what you guys think about this stuff. How to US coming up. But like I was saying, the topics kept coming up and everybody reacted the way they reacted to that How to US video, so I felt like I should address it. Best of luck. Thank you guys very much for the support in general with this stuff. If you would like to continue to, press all the buttons on the screen or come by a stream. I really appreciate it, guys. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching. Hope you have a nice day. See you guys.